Thanks for joining us today. We're here at Microtronics Central Headquarters in Ottoville, Ohio, having a look today at the Winx Box here. Microtronics has developed the Winx Box over the past couple of years, working with local customers in the area on their network and IT infrastructure and security. We noticed a trend in the IT industry, something that's been taking over the IT industry by storm, and that is ransomware infections, virus infections, and generalized security issues within the local network, from hacking to ransomware to everything in between. The Winx Box is a network security device that sits at the front of your network. It stands for Wireless Interface Network Kill Switch, and its purpose is to totally cut off and isolate your network from the outside world, from the internet, from whatever security breach you have encountered at your local business. What's great about the Winx Box is it is not affected by any local software or antivirus or any other software installed on the local workstations. Currently, the only way to mitigate virus infections, ransomware, or outside attackers or intrusions into your network is to use software-related tools, things like antivirus, firewall, things of those sorts. And these are all predicated on being installed on either a local terminal or your firewall hardware or your router before it gets into your local network. Inherently, the problem with antivirus software is it's infected by the local terminal. Whatever's affecting the local terminal is going to affect the antivirus software. The great thing about the Winx Box is it sits outside of this environment. It's not connected to a terminal. It is completely isolated in and of itself. So it's not affected by any malware or ads that the local terminal has installed on that machine. Being completely isolated from the outside world and from these local terminals, the Winx Box can serve as your first line of defense against any type of infection or intrusion into your local network. The way it does this is quite simple. The Winx Box doesn't interface directly with software to completely isolate your network. The Winx Box works via power directly to your switch and your router device in your rack. The Winx Box works in two phases. Phase one, it completely disconnects the power to your switch device. It then proceeds to send out an alert email to your IT department or your contracted IT company that you work with. You can configure all this in its configurable control panel. Phase two, once it's done sending the email alert out, it then comes in and completely disconnects the power to your router. At this point, it's completely isolated and killed your entire network environment, from your local network all the way up to your Wi-Fi and access to the remote internet provider. Let's go ahead and activate the Winx Box to see how it works. The great thing about the Winx Box is any individual within your organization can operate this device. You don't have to send them to the network room and say, hey, cut the red wire, cut the blue wire. This is not a bomb defusal device. This is super simple to use. Anybody can operate it. You don't have to direct them to which wire they have to unplug or turn off within your network rack, or risk something being turned off that shouldn't have been. The Winx Box is perfect to give access to any individual within your organization that needs the ability to mitigate a risk. You can simply send them to the back room and say, hit the big red button, and it will completely isolate your network, alert your IT department, and protect your network from whatever intrusion is happening. To activate the Winx Box, you simply hit the big red button, and it will go through its multiple phases of turning off your network. You'll notice the switch turned off first. A few seconds later, after sending out the alert email to your IT department, the router then turned off. At this point, your network's been completely isolated from the outside world. Your local traffic's been disabled, your Wi-Fi's been disabled, and your internet access has been completely isolated so that you are now protected from any risk that you were facing. The Winx Box also allows you to integrate it directly with software on the individual terminals. This allows you to remotely activate the Winx Box from any terminal within your network. There's a pre-shared password that you can configure inside the configuration panel. The software gives the user the ability at the terminal to go ahead and activate the kill switch remotely. Thus, if your network room is separated or isolated from the rest of your terminal stations, this allows you to quickly and efficiently mitigate a risk without having to go through the added effort of going to your network room, unlocking the door, and getting access to that room. It also allows the IT technicians remote access to power cycle your switch or router at any time using the terminal software. This is a great tool for your IT departments, allowing them quick access to restart your network should the need arise. Let's go ahead and reactivate the Winx box, essentially turning back on your network. Simply go to the box and twist the red button to the right. This will then reactivate power to your switch and your router, and your network will now reboot. You also have an LCD panel on the front of the Winx box that gives you access to its current status, its IP address on your network, and the administrator password. This is set default from factory. You can configure all of this from within inside the control panel. The functionality of the Winx box allows you to completely isolate your internal network, thus providing you security from the outside world while you mitigate whatever risk has taken effect within your local environment. Microtronics is working with top AV providers in the industry to provide integration with our box and their antivirus software. This will allow the Winx box to completely function at night while your business is closed. The antivirus software will be allowed to directly communicate through an API we've developed in the box to alert the box of a potential threat within your local network. It can then assess the level of this threat, and you can pre-configure the defined threat level that you want the box to turn off your network at. This way, in the middle of the night, if your network comes under attack, your antivirus software can decide if this attack is worthy of shutting down your entire network, thus protecting your network even when you're out. We're also working on a cloud software panel to allow you remote access to your Winx box. This will allow you, if you have multiple business locations, to have access to all of these boxes for your local IT department from within the cloud panel. See their status, and using the cloud panel, potentially turn them off remotely should the need arise for your IT department to step in and take action against the threat. Thanks for taking this time with us to go ahead and look at the Winx box and its functionality. We hope that this opportunity has given you a bit more insight into what the Winx box is for and how it can better serve your business. As always, thank you for choosing Microtronics, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.